Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here. I guess it's Wednesday morning, and the Raptors are going to play Minnesota tonight at WWE night. Yeah, wrestling. Wow, I'm gonna get you, Hogan. They're gonna give away a bunch of masks before the game, luchador masks. I think it's like to the first 500 people or something that show up to the Raptors game tonight. You get a weird WWE Raptors mashup luchador mask. So you could run around in your life like Nacho Libre if you want to. In some ways, it's not the right kind of mask for a pandemic, but it may be the right kind of mask just for insanity. So yeah, we're playing Minnesota tonight, and this is going to be a tall order. Literally, this is a well-sized team. This is a team that's got good length and size at all positions for the most part. And the other thing about Minnesota is they're a veteran team. They have a lot of guys who've been through a lot of playoff experience, a lot of time in the NBA. So they're a team that is, dangerous. They're a dangerous team. And the other third thing about the Minnesota Timberwolves that is you got to be cautious about is their depth. They actually have like a 12-man team that has like pretty good players off the bench. So yeah, this is going to be a tough game tonight. This is a game where we're playing a team that has a similar record as us in the Western Conference, and we cannot take them lightly. It's unfortunate that Pirtle is out, and that is the latest lineup news right there. Pirtle out, Chucky Hepburn out. Those are the only two guys listed for the Raptors because we could have really used Jakob Pirtle in the matchup against Gobert tonight because Gobert is going to be an issue. Luckily, he's not really an offensive player where he tries to score a lot himself because in some ways he could be dangerous for that. The big thing is, as a team that doesn't shoot the three well all the time, having Gobert run around in the middle will make offensive opportunities and what we do on our team may be difficult. We have to be very creative with how we're going to manufacture shots and shot selection and where we're going to be when we do that. Because some of it downstairs near the basket, down around the basket, is going to be very harrowing and difficult to get to. I mean, it's not just Rudy. I mean, Jalen McDaniels is also a nice long defender. You got guys like Naz Reid off the bench. Yeah. So the Raptors are going to have to be very smart about how they move the ball around and when they shoot and where they shoot. And people need to make the shots. They just need to. That's it. Yeah. Let me go look at the latest lineup news. Yeah, it's Yak and Chucky. So I'm going to guess it's the notorious barbecue combo once again tonight, starting for us. Colin Murray-Boyles lining up across from Rudy Gobert. That's not ideal. That's not ideal. I guess Scott may have to play Gobert tonight, which is, I mean, the big thing is like avoid him for block shots and make sure you try and limit his rebounds, maybe like really put somebody on him, boxing him out in certain ways. So Gobert can be an extremely big plus for his team, but he can be a negative in some ways too. And if Coach Rajakovic and the rest of the staff can figure out a game plan where maybe they can figure out ways to exploit the issues with Rudy Gobert, that would be good. That would be good. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yeah, this is gonna be a tough one, man. I'm telling you right now, this is gonna be a tough game tonight. And yeah, the Raptors they can't play like they did against Utah. They won't win the game if they do that. They got to play way better than they did on Sunday. The ESPN matchup predictor is saying that 54% Minnesota is favored. We got 47% or 40. Actually, yeah, 47%. I'm rounding up. That's why it doesn't add up to 100. Yeah, 54%. They think that the Minnesota Timberwolves will come into Toronto and beat us on our home court. The stats do show that our home court advantage is not totally rang true for having wins more. And we've done better on the road this year, but still defend the North. And there's a lot of talk about whether Minnesota is far north than Toronto, Minneapolis. I don't know exactly where they are on the latitudes. But I would say this, we are above you and the province is above Minnesota, the state. So it's like some Minnesota people like to argue that we're really the North. You're not the North. wait, wait a second. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come on now. Come on now. Of course, there's a lot of turmoil right now with the state of Minnesota. And we found out that the city of Minneapolis yesterday was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. And well, that's just going to infuriate my Führer that sits in the White House since he's so caught up on the Nobel Peace Prize himself. They nominated a city. Woo-wee! All right, on the other side of things, there are injuries for Minnesota. Julius Randle is questionable for today's game due to a thumb injury. So there is a possibility that Julius might not be out there. They do have a very nice starting lineup in some ways. They do. Terrence Shannon Jr. is definitely out today due to a foot injury, and their big all-star, Anthony Edwards, is questionable for tonight's game due to a left elbow soreness. So on the injury report, we've got Julius and Ant on the injury report as questionable. So it could, I usually split the difference with this kind of stuff and say one of them may actually sit out, and one of them will actually play. We'll have to see. Maybe both of them are sitting out. Maybe Chris Finch does the calculations and he figures out, well, this is about the amount of Timberwolf that I need to beat this Raptors team tonight. So who knows? Maybe it's a rest night for old Anthony Edwards, which in some ways, well, I guess that's just how it goes. So who would they be? The Minnesota Timberwolves. First time we're going to see them this year. 31-20 is their record. They're starting Dante at point guard. Dante DiVincenzo got traded just like Emmanuel Quickly from the Knicks, and he became a starting point guard also. Which is crazy because I've never thought of Dante DiVincenzo as a starting point guard caliber player in this league. But with injuries and just the way things are going, that's who they like to run at that point. Anthony normally starts at shooting guard, but if he's not out there, maybe they'll start Bones Highland, the veteran from the former days with the Nuggets. He is on their team and kind of the sixth man off the bench, but he may be starting depending on the injuries. Jalen McDaniels, the brother of Jaden McDaniels, former Raptor, is the small forward still. He's been a steady part of their lineup for many years now. And he's an underrated player, honestly. He's a good player in a lot of ways. Julius is the power forward, but if he's not out there, it probably will be Naz Reid who comes into the starting lineup, which keeps their lineup nice and size, even without Julius out there. Because, you know, you're putting out a backup power forward center in Naz Reid. And then, of course, the all-defensive Rudy Gobert from France at center. For the Timberwolves off the bench, they also have in their rotation Rob Dillingham, the rookie from a couple years ago, who's kind of been disappointing his NBA career so far. Jalen Clark also off the bench. Joe Ingles, the Australian guy who was ready to punch somebody the other day, which was kind of funny. That clip of Joe Ingles, he wanted to fight Quentin Post, I believe, of the Warriors because he walked weird towards him or something like that. I don't know. It was a weird clip. Also, Canadian Leonard Miller is on this team still out of Scarborough. We love Leonard, and we want to see Leonard tonight. So we'll get to see Leonard come home and play in his hometown of Toronto tonight. So Leonard Miller. So rookie Jean Bernier, the French big man who's studying underneath Gobert. He is on the roster, and he will be available for the Timberwolves tonight. Also, Enrique Freeman. Recently announced rising up next game star from G League, Rico Zikarski, will be around tonight. He's the center from Australia that he got announced to the G League up next game. Rocco is his name, Rocco. And Johnny Juzang is also on the Timberwolves and their lineup. So yeah, that's the Timberwolves, man. I'm telling you, they're deep because they've got guys that come off the bench like Ingles and Miller and Naz Reid and Bones Highland and Jean Berenguer. So yeah, it's a good group. And Chris Finch has been very successful since he started coaching Minnesota after he left the Raptors suddenly during the COVID season to take the job with Timberwolves. He's been running strong and has a really good record with them. Chris Finch is one of the best coaches in the history of the Timberwolves at this point. And he's done a good job getting them in the postseason while he's been there also. So, yeah, that's the latest lineup news. The Timberwolves are a talented, tall team that has veteran ability. And that's a little bit of a taller task for the Raptors for this game tonight. Let's go look at the ref report. Tonight in the replay center, we got Inte Huang once again sitting with Jason Goebel, just the two of them. They're just going to be hanging out in there. Our referees tonight, our record overall with the referees that are reffing tonight so far this season, 2-2. So right down the middle, 2 wins and 2 losses. The crew chief tonight will be Courtney Kirkland. I've called him a cyborg in the past because of his dry delivery and his emotionless facial expressions on the court while he's refereeing. The cyborg, yeah. Courtney Kirkland, the cyborg, number 61 out of Flint, Michigan, his 26th season as a referee in the NBA. His favorite TV show is Billions. He likes the movie The Matrix. That's kind of telling me something right there. His favorite book is Atomic Habits. Whoa. Are you run by atomic energy, Courtney Kirkland? And his favorite app is NBA. He doesn't eat anything. He doesn't listen to anything. He's a cyborg. Just kidding. I think it's funny, though. Like him and Kawhi, they're cyborgs. Courtney Kirkland was a member of the crew that officiated the 2021 NBA All-Star Game in Atlanta, which honored historically black colleges and universities. All 3 officials in the game, Kirkland, Southern University, the late Tony Brown, Clark, Atlanta, and Tom Washington, Norfolk State, attended HBCUs. Kirkland also officiated the 2020 All-Star Game in Chicago. He is one of 5 NBA officials to ever work consecutive All-Star games. Yeah, Courtney, we've only had him once this year so far, and we won. We won the first game that he reffed this year. We win 42% of our games in the history of Courtney. That's bad. That's bad. That's a low percentage. That's a low percentage. He's under Ed Malloy and Scott Foster. That's how bad it is. And well, the Timberwolves don't win under him either. 33%. So 42-33 for the home team, the Raptors, with Courtney Kirkland. Yeah, 42-33. That's not bad. That's not bad. The thing here that's going to equalize things is just is Minnesota going to play a more professional veteran game than we are? And if they play better, Courtney will favor them. That's what I'll say. We might get a little bit of home advantage being in Toronto, but Courtney may disregard that, and he may absolutely give favor to the Timberwolves if the Timberwolves are playing a more polished, professional, get-after game than the Raptors. If they outwork us, he will favor the Timberwolves. If the Raptors work hard, play their ass off, he will give us way more respect. So heed that. Warning, Scotty Barnes, is that if you guys bust your ass and you do what you're supposed to do the right way, Courtney Kirkland will be your friend, just so you know. The second ref tonight is Nate Green. Nate Green is in his 7th season out of Des Moines, Iowa, number 41. His favorite TV show is The Wire. He likes the movie Coming to America. He listens to Selena Johnson. His favorite book is Lone Survivor. He eats tagliatelle bolognese. He likes to watch Netflix, and he most like to visit Africa. Nate Green officiated 4 seasons in the NBA G League, including the 2019 finals. His officiating experience also includes 6 years in college basketball in the Atlantic Coast Conference, American, Atlantic 10, and SEC conferences, and 5 years at the high school level in Indiana. Yeah, Nate Green is the best ref for the Raptors statistically out of the 3 guys. We did win the first game that Nate refereed for us this year, so we're 1-0 with him, and our record overall is 56% winning in the career of Nate Green when he's reffed Raptors games. So that's pretty good. And the Timberwolves, 47%. So 56-47 for the Raptors with the second ref, Nate Green. The last ref is the cantankerous veteran ref, Derek Collins. Derek Collins in his 25th season out of New Orleans, Louisiana, number 11. His favorite TV show is Martin. His favorite movie is Glory. He likes to listen to Bob Marley. He likes to read the Bible. He likes to eat gumbo. He liked to visit Africa, and his bucket list is to fly an airplane. Derek Collins has 7 years of collegiate officiating experience in various conferences, including the Big 12, Conference USA, SEC, Southland, Southwestern Athletic, and Sun Belt. The New Orleans native also officiated high school basketball in Louisiana. Yeah, Derek Collins is one of the old school refs that is tough, and you got to respect him and the game. And if you don't, well, he will punish you. He will punish you. He comes from that line of reffing like Tony Brothers. And well, Tony Brothers can be cool with you if you respect the game and you respect the officials and you respect the NBA. But if you don't do that, they can be punitive. So watch out for that with Derek Collins. We've had Derek twice already this year, and we lost both games. So we're 0-2 with Derek Collins as a ref for this season so far. And we win 42% of our games. He is the worst winning percentage out of the three refs tonight. 42% is a 41.8. And it's worse than Courtney, but they're close. They're right there at the same place in the ref report in that bad area in the red zone. And with the Timberwolves, they don't do any better. 39% winning for the Timberwolves with Derek Collins. So 42-39 for the Raptors once again. But the thing about it is Courtney and Derek are not good refs for the Raptors overall, but they are better statistically with us than Minnesota. Now, that could indicate that over the decades of them reffing, that Minnesota's been really bad and they've lost a lot of games because of that. And they may be more favored with them, partly because Minnesota's a good team right now. And, that's the thing. It's hard. These percentages are not an exact science. And in some ways, they can be indicative of some things, but also at the same time, they may leave out very important factors in certain ways too. So once again, I'll say this to the Raptors. If you listen to me in the ref report, be very, very professional. Take care of the ball. Get after loose balls. Work hard. Play hard, and the refs will respect you more. That's usually the case, but it's especially so tonight. Yeah. So yeah, Courtney Kirkland, Derek Collins, and Nate Green, the referees for tonight's Raptors game against Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. It could be worse. It could be better. And they all statistically favor the Raps. So we'll just have to see how true that is later on tonight. I say I don't trust this ref crew, but they could actually be all right. Let's just say that. That's the right one right there. That's it. All right, let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. Good morning to Trevor J. Trevor, I was trying to get in touch with you yesterday to give you a phone number of one of the other Raptor freaks because they want to get in touch with you. If you could check your Discord messages and maybe your phone, your text messages, because I did send you some texts yesterday, and I don't know if you got them. Maybe you have a different phone number than the one that I have on record right now. Trevor J's words of wisdom: you do not win looking back. The game is always played ahead of you. What's done is done. What's next is yours. Only forward effort accounts. You can't meet tomorrow while clinging to yesterday. I like that. I like that in some ways. Yeah. Your past can inform decisions, though, and help you to make better decision making. That's for sure, too. You don't want to hold on to the past to the extent that it is holding you back from going forward, for sure. And I think that's the main sentiment of this word of wisdom is to be able to, move freely. Don't get anchored down by stuff from the past. I think that's good. That's good words of wisdom. Blessings to the Jones family and all the Raptor Freak families. Yeah, yeah. Trevor's saying lots of crazy trades were done yesterday. I can't wait till it's all over tomorrow. Yeah, 3 p.m. on Thursday is the trade deadline time. And yeah, there was quite an active trade day yesterday. This is what Adam Silver wanted, a shake it up kind of thing. I feel like there's winners and losers from yesterday. That's for sure. I think the biggest winner, unfortunately, is the Celtics because they got a good center and Vucevic. I really do feel like Nikola is a way better player than Kristaps, and that this is a problem, guys. This also indicates that the Celtics are going to seriously try and compete for the championship this year by making this move to solidify a true quality five. And, when we play the Celtics later this season, I think we still play them once at least. This new look with Vucevic, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Vucevic is a very tough player to play against. He gives you a combination of rebounding and size and also three-point shooting. And I think the Celtics won the trade day yesterday. It pains me to say that was a huge acquisition for them. And all they did was give up a spare part in a player that I thought never really kind of fit on their team, but he was a good asset. And they've moved him on forward, Anthony Simons, to the Bulls. So yeah, very interesting move. That's the move right there that I think is the most important move yesterday. And it really does benefit the Celtics. On the other token, I'll say the worst move and the team that did the worst yesterday is the Cavaliers. because what are you doing, Cleveland? You're idiots. They are desperate, obviously. They do not believe in themselves. That they feel like they got to trade Darius Garland to the Clippers to get James Harden. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And well, Cleveland, don't expect to do anything because you did this. In fact, you kind of can cement that you guys are not going to win a championship now this year for sure, because James just ain't like that. Let's just put it that way. The track record has shown all the way through his long career. And well, this is kind of like a alarm clock that goes off every day to wake you up. James Harden wanted to be traded. Imagine that. It's like a toxic pattern. They never nipped it in the bud when he first did this in Houston a long time ago. And now it's just like it's a common thing. Like, why would anybody want him on their team if they know he's going to at any point flake out and say, "Hey, I need to get out of here. I need to be traded." And the crazy thing is that the NBA caters to him and allows this kind of movement around the league. In some ways, James Harden is abusing this kind of ability and ruining it for the whole rest of the league on the down low. The way that James Harden moves around in the league and what he's doing is absolutely hurting players and their leverage and their ability to, like, in some ways it's just really tacky. So I think Cleveland, even though some fans may be going crazy because they think it's an amazing move, this is such a fool's goal move. And I would say, even though Garland gets hurt a lot, you did not improve your team. You're going to find out that you just got more false hopes. I would say Darius Garland was one of the most respectable players on your team as far as quality and steadiness. Donovan Mitchell is a great scorer, but in some ways he's not a winning player. And then you got Jared and Evan up front, and those guys are solid. This is going to be such a weird fit. I definitely think the Cavs lost trade day yesterday. Definitely. And Celtics won trade day yesterday. A lot of other little small jabroni moves. I mean, JJJ got traded yesterday, which is crazy to me too. Memphis, I didn't understand that. I mean, aren't you trying to trade Ja, not Jaren Jackson Jr.? Because that didn't make any sense to me either. Because like he's a good citizen, he's a defensive player of the year. He's like your best player on your roster. He's probably who you should be building around. But no, they're going to trade the good one away and keep the goofy one, the one that's the problem. Yeah, I don't understand that at all. I think the Grizzlies are stupid. And well, the Jazz are going to have a very interesting look with the new players they just acquired. So yeah, I know there's a lot of other moves. I'm not going to go over all the little minute moves. This is just my impressions from the stuff that happened yesterday. Yeah, I hate that the Celtics got better. They definitely got better yesterday. Yeah, and what did you guys say in the Discord? I think it was Trevor. He said they traded Darius Garland for an older Darius Garland, like meaning he's hurt all the time. Yeah, that's pretty funny, man. Trevor J saying congratulations to AJ Lawson for the next game. See, that it's confusing because Elijah already made the G League Up Next team, and that G League Up Next team plays in the Rising Stars Challenge. There's 3 rookie teams that play. Colin Murray-Boyles is on Team Carmelo, and there's the Vince and the Tracy team. Then they have a little 4-team tournament, which makes more sense than a 3-team tournament, Adam Silver. All these tournaments are stupid anyway. They should just be 2 teams and one big game for the All-Star game. But anyway, I digress. The Rising Stars from the G League, Elijah Martin's on that team, and that's competing with the rookies and Colin Murray-Boyles and them. Well, there's also a game that happens on Saturday afternoons on All-Star Weekend, which is the G League Up Next game, and it showcases G League players, and they're going to have a 4-team tournament for that too, apparently, because Adam Silver just can't have enough tournaments at the All-Star Weekend. In some ways, it's so goofy, man. Keep it simple, man. 2 teams, a 12 roster, or 15 at this point. You should have 2 All-Star teams of 15 players, 30 All-Stars, and just 2 teams against each other. And honestly, it should be team versus the USA versus the world, but you should have a full world team. But Adam Silver, he don't even want to do that. He slights the world by putting Cat on the world team as a replacement when Kawhi Leonard comes in for Giannis. Does any of that logically make sense? Well, Kawhi coming in for Giannis makes sense because the game's in Clippers Arena. But moving Cat, who was born in Edison, New Jersey, to the world team to be coached by Darko Rajakovic, that don't make no fucking sense at all. And honestly, Alperen Sengun should be fuming. because he should have been the replacement for Giannis on the world team, not Cat. And Kawhi, he can be replaced on the U.S. team for a U.S. guy who's sitting out, because we know somebody from that U.S. team is going to sit out. We know that's going to happen. So just throw Kawhi in then. Seriously, it's so stupid, man. I don't like the logic in what they're doing. And the whole format of the USA versus the world is absolutely convoluted bullshit. Because first of all, they set it up for the old guys, basically. The old man team is the Stripes team, which has got Kevin Durant, LeBron, Steph Curry, and people like that, Kawhi. They put them. All right, the way it is, the first game will be the Stars game, which is Scotty's team versus Darko's team, the world team. Whoever wins that game gets to go forward and keep their heat going. Because this is the biggest problem with this tournament format, is that guys get hot and cold and they have to sit for a game. Like, they may play in the first game. If you lose the first game, like let's say team Stars, Scotty's team loses to Darko in the world, they have to sit for 2 whole games and get cold and then warm up again after that. And that can be a huge detriment. That's not natural for NBA players to play all out for one game, sit for 2 little mini games, and then play in another game. It's not. So they know this is a problem for the older players. So they set up so that they have to play no matter what 2 games in a row without no rest, without no cold part in the middle of it. So it's the most convoluted bullshit, stupid ass format. It's going to come off really stupid. And man, it's another fail, Adam Silver. And you haven't even played it. I already know it. So we'll just have to see how it all goes down. The All-Star weekend, they did announce AJ Lawson is going to be in that Saturday afternoon G League All-Star game, the up next game, which is fantastic. Also, Kennedy Chandler's playing in that too, guys, just so you know. He made it. Pretty crazy, man. Happy game day. Let's keep on winning. Let's go. Yeah, we got 1 game winning streak. We'd like to add that to that and make it 2 in a row. That's right. Keep the homestead going with the wins. These 5 games leading into the All-Star break. And, I want to win 3 out of the 5 at least. That's a winning record. If not, win all of them. That would be awesome. This Minnesota game is one of the tougher ones, though. It is one of the tougher ones. Super fan Mo is in the house. Good morning, Rapid Freak crew. Happy game day on the road today, but can still listen. Let's lock in and do the right thing. There you go. Mo's out and about on her day. I don't think she's going to the game tonight. She's going to the game tomorrow against the Bulls for the Caribbean night. Tonight's WWE night. Yeah. So, Mo, have safe travels, and I hope you're having a fantastic morning this morning. Bryce Lawson's in the house, stateside. Good morning, Lex and Rapid Freak crew. Big game tonight. Let's go Raptors. Yeah, big game, as in go Bear. Yeah, we got to watch out for him. And, man, this is going to be a good test for our young Raptors and the success we've had this year. In some ways, we played very well against the Western teams on that road trip. Well, they're coming to our house now, and we got to play good against the Western teams in Toronto, not just on away visitor lockers, arenas. We need to go and we need to beat them here, defend the North. Is what I'm saying. Jimmy, the Pope of Positivity Pope is here. I just want the trade deadline to pass and us to just get a backup big that can start until Yak can play, because he's going to play and be the Yak we extended manifesting. Yeah, that's the right speak. That's the right thing to say. And well, the evidence to that is seeming like it's there. They had a practice yesterday and Jakob was very much involved. The news with Yak goes up and down so fast. It's like, yeah, he's not playing today, but he's getting more and more active in practice. In fact, there's footage from practice yesterday where Yak's shooting threes from the corner, like that one he hit against Portland last year. And some people are speculating that he's changed his shot form while he's been out. Like, he's shooting with a different kind of way from the outside. Who could it be? Really a weird thing that, like, on the down low, the Raptors are developing Jakob a 3-point shot while he's out. Could that be a really weird thing? Like, what if he comes back from injury and all of a sudden Yak's bombing threes and making them all of a sudden? He's like, oh, Grady, you're not making the threes. Somebody's got to do it, so I'm going to come out and do it. Oh, okay. All right, Yak, you want to be the 3-point specialist for the Raptors? That's fantastic. Let's see it. Yeah. Interviews yesterday with the practice. Darko said something really interesting yesterday that I loved. And he said, this is what he said: "You guys don't see most of what goes on with our team behind closed doors. Everybody's improving. In fact," this is what he said. He said, "Garrett Temple, even though he's like 38 years old, he improved a lot, like behind the scenes in the last year." Like Darko says this, you don't see it on the court. You don't see it because he doesn't play in the game very much. But Garrett Temple has been making development strides and jumps, just like the rest of the Raptors have since Darko's been around. And that's a testimony right there that Darko can develop and help any player at any level of their career get better in certain ways. That's interesting. I wonder what exactly he means about how Garrett got better. I'd be curious to hear an interview with Garrett Temple talking about how his game has developed further under Darko in the last couple years. Because in some ways, it's like, we see it with players that play on the court all the time, but Garrett doesn't play that much. He's just in there for the end in certain kind of role. But I found that was very interesting to me when Darko said that. He said that, you guys don't even know how much Garrett's gotten better behind the scenes through his developing under our coaching staff. That was interesting to me when he said that. I was like, oh, interesting. I wonder what Garrett did that's different. And now that he feels like a better all-round player. Very, very interesting stuff, man. Yeah, Trevor's saying watching Yak on the court yesterday shoot the three ball. I know. I know. It's like, don't tease us. You're teasing us with Yak on the practice court, but also with shooting threes. We just want him back to play. We just need him. It's Gobert. Come on. It's Gobert. Oh my gosh. Kesper's here. Good morning to the fact checker. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Watch what you read online these days. The top of the East just got serious, and now everyone's getting overreactionary. I wonder if this changes what the front office does, though, because it could. Yeah, but that's never been our MO in the era of Ujiri and with Webster. Is we don't get panicked or hurried just because we see other teams make moves. And that the fans do. The fans get, oh no, Celtics got Vucevic. We better get somebody because they think that free agency or trades is like an arms race. And they're like, oh no, they're ahead of us just on paper through a transaction. That's not always true, Raptors fans. And y'all need to understand this. Sometimes players, it looks like a really good move, but it's actually a negative move for a franchise. So don't just go by. Teams are making moves and shuffling up and getting new players. Oh my gosh, they got better. That's not true all the time. In fact, it could be the opposite. They got worse. And I'm going to say that probably is true for Cleveland after yesterday. So, it's not an arms race. It's not like just because other teams are doing something, you got to get the meme that you put up on Reddit with the guy poking the rock with the stick. Come on, Bobby, do something. Do something. No, we don't need to do something. In fact, when you react and do something out of desperation because you think you need to do something, that's when you make a mistake. And the MO and the way that these guys have done this for so long, Bobby and Messiah, and now Bobby by himself, is the same. They don't get scared of this. Fan Nation will. Fan Nation will talk out of their ass, but our front office won't be reactive, Kespera. They'll play it cool, and they'll be like, yeah, so what if they did that? We have our own plan. We're very inward looking. We don't give a shit about what everybody else is doing. We keep up with what they're doing, but in some ways, we have our own things that we have our own stuff, and we just focus on that. And just because somebody went out and did this doesn't mean Bobby's like feeling like the pressure to do anything himself. I feel like this is the way they've been the whole time. It's really on our own timeline for our own parameters and for our own what we are doing. And we do not look for validation or inspiration from other people doing what they're doing. Never been that way. The whole entire time Masai has been in charge, and then Bobby after him, like now. So yeah, it's just how it is, man. I don't see this. The fans will be calling for it. The fans will be weird. The next 24 hours, the fans will be getting all pressurized with like, oh, do something, Bobby, do something. And they'll probably act goofy when the trade deadline's over and they see what the Raptors front office actually did by the end of the trade deadline. They'll probably be goofy. Some of them will be negative and mad. Some of them will be, I'm glad we didn't do anything, like me. And, if we do get the small move, if we do get the backup center, that's fantastic. But if we don't, and he doesn't do that, and people are going to have all these questions, they're going to say stupid shit like fire Bobby and all kinds of crazy stuff because they think that he didn't do what he was supposed to do just because he didn't do something like everybody else did. But that's folly. That's stupid ass thinking. by casual NBA fans that don't really understand the NBA. And that's what I say about that. This is a whole phenomenon we're walking into right now. And like Kesper said, watch what you read online these days. The top, it's there's a lot of like crap and out there, and in some ways, you got to discern everything whether it's true or not at this point. Reggie's saying this. I wonder if Minnesota sits a few guys tonight with the Giannis trade pending. Giannis trade pending. Is there going to be a trade or not? And if Toronto sits a few guys as well, yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. I don't expect the Raptors to do much different. I mean, they've already been low key sitting Abaji. They've been putting him in for just like little spots here and there just because they needed an extra guy for certain minutes because of foul trouble or something. But he has not been playing his regular rotation kind of weight for most of his Raptors career that he's done, Oshai Abaji. So they've already down low been doing this with Oshai. Yeah, they've already been doing this down low. Yeah, we'll have to see. What is this Giannis trade? Is there even a Giannis trade, or is this just bullshit? Honestly, because I've heard the Milwaukee Bucks are not in a hurry to trade him, and in some ways they like their leverage in the summer better. So yeah, we'll just have to see what's up with that. Yeah, Danny's here. Good morning to Danny, the electrician. Hope you're having a great morning, Danny, and just blessings coming towards you, my guy. That's right. Smooth saying apparently is down in Minnesota and Miami for Giannis, with Minnesota as the favorites. See, Reggie, you're so pro trade. You're like the one guy on this channel that's all about it and just in the thick of it. And just like, I want to talk trades. I'm going to bring up trades over and over again. Trades. Reggie, come on, man. It's like if Giannis gets moved, I'll be sad for Milwaukee. I still think that he should be able to play his whole entire career in Milwaukee and they should just leave him alone. I don't think that he really wants to leave Milwaukee. I think that the NBA is pressuring him to leave Milwaukee. And in some ways, part of the problem is that he doesn't really want to go and they don't really want to trade him either, but they're being forced to by Adam Silver and the league. It's annoying, man, because in some ways, the precedent is okay, if you're a good, really good player like Kevin Garnett and you're stuck in Minnesota, well, we got to rescue you. The NBA has to rescue you. But this is different than Garnett in Minnesota because Giannis won a championship with the Bucks, and that should be enough. He got the pinnacle. So I think that he's so intertwined with that economy and that city. I think that is so much stupid that just because for the sake of a move or because it's the Milwaukee franchise, if this was the Lakers, if this was the Knicks, they wouldn't do this to fucking the team. They wouldn't put all this pressure to move this big star out of this market because it's all business reasons why. It's not anything to do with Giannis himself or the Milwaukee Bucks. It's the NBA's business and capitalizing off his image and putting him in a more prominent market. It's the most convoluted bullshit capitalist kind of fucking reasoning for moving Giannis Antetokounmpo. And it's totally coming from the front office. It has nothing to do with the Milwaukee front office. It's coming from the NBA front office. And in some ways, that, for us as a team like the Bucks, a team that may have this kind of shenanigans come up with a player in our situation like this. Imagine if we were in the situation as Bucks Nation, how pissed off we would be about all this and say, just leave well enough alone. Let this man just stay in Milwaukee and raise his kids here because they've always been here, you know? But no, the NBA has to manufacture and fabricate a whole buzz and push this narrative year after year. This is not the first year of the Giannis sweepstakes and all this bullshit. This has been going on for 10 years now. And if we were, it was happening to us with our superstar here in Toronto, we would be pissed about it. So let's think about it from that angle. That in the future, could this situation happen to us with a franchise player because the NBA just all of a sudden decides we don't want the star in Toronto? This is kind of what happened with Vince. Let's just put it that way. We're going to get him out of there one way or another for whatever reason. That's why I'm against this shit. That's why I hope Giannis retires as a Buck, because that's the way it used to be. Larry Bird was a Celtic his whole career. Tim Duncan was a Spur his whole career. You know, John Stockton was a Jazz his whole career. Why can't really top level players like this? No, because the NBA's marketing and Adam Silver wants to fucking make bullshit up to fucking dislodge him from the Bucks franchise. So if that deal happens, so be it. If it doesn't, I'll be very happy because in some ways it smacks of the Luka forced trade to the Lakers from Dallas if Giannis gets moved like this. I'm just pissed about this because honestly, think about it. If you were Bucks Nation and I was Bucks freak, how would my show be right now? How would I be talking about this whole situation with Enacomto? How do you think? Yeah, you know exactly how I'd be. Oh, yeah, I'd be going off because I would be like, stop fucking with our franchise player and let the man live his life and how he wants to. Because I'm telling you, the man does not want to actually leave. If he leaves, it's partly because the NBA forced him. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's not that upset about winning or losing. He really isn't. In some ways, he's achieved a lot. And he has nothing to prove. He has nothing to prove. It's the NBA bullshit that gets out there and says, oh, Giannis, you're wasting your career. Bullshit. What is a career in the NBA? A career, getting a championship is just one is amazing. It is amazing. There's so many players that never played in the league and got a championship. To expect him just to get multiple championships over and over again, that could have been possible, but the Bucks front office didn't know what the fuck they're doing. So yeah, I'll rant on this for a little bit, but I'm done. I'm done. And Smooth, man, stop being such a trade deadline fan. Seriously, man, stop doing it. Stop doing it, man. I don't understand why you think this is so fun this time of year. It's stupid, man. This time of year is so stupid. So stupid. All right, Fiercey's here. Good morning. Good morning, fam, and happy game day. Let's get the win tonight. Yeah, Mamu was talking about this yesterday in practice. They don't pay attention to this. They hate the trade deadline. The trade deadline is painful for NBA players because it reminds them, like Dennis said, it's like modern day slavery. You could just get traded to another team and have to pack up, and it takes it out of their life. It's demeaning. It's demeaning, the whole idea of the trade deadline and the players are commodities and all this other bullshit. Sometimes the press, when they come at them with the questions around the trade deadline, they're like ugly little jackals and vultures. They're laughing. Oh, what about the trade deadline? What did you think about the trade deadline? Hey, Sandro, it's Eric Kareen. What do you think about the trade deadline? You know what? These motherfuckers think about the trade deadline. They hate it. They don't want to fucking talk about it. They don't want to think about it. They know they can't control this. How many of y'all out in your lives have things in your life you can't control, and people ask you questions in an interview with a microphone, say, oh, you can't control this. How do you feel about it? You're a fucking dick is how I feel about it. Because it's like some ways, okay, remind me. Yeah, I could just have to pack up my whole family and move to another fucking city like Dennis Schroeder all of a sudden. Seriously, just remind me of this. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I might have to say goodbye to a friend of mine who's on my team right now. Oh, yeah, you guys can be all callous and fucking impersonal with your fucking coverage of the trade deadline and not treating these people like they're real human beings, but they're like fucking cattle. I'm sick of this shit. That is the immoral part of the trade deadline. It harkens to the new era of modern slavery in some ways. Yeah, I said it like Dennis Schroeder. Yeah, they make millions, but it's the same kind of feel. Let's just put it that way. Same kind of feel. It's disgusting and gross. And it harkens to an old system where people were subjugated as slaves. I know it's not the same, and I'm crazy maybe for saying that, but let's think about the apparatus and the whole idea of it. It's like, oh, these are the guys on display. Who do you want? Who do you want? What is this? What is this fucking shit? Seriously. It's like, so you're so tone deaf, you can't even fucking realize that connection to how that links to that. And then let's get into, DNA and pain bodies in some people's lives and their lineage and their own families may have slavery in their past. And maybe the trade deadline touches off deep-seated feelings in some people because they had an ancestor that may have been involved in the slave trade 100 years ago. I mean, Adam Silver, let's get real about this shit. It's Black History Month, motherfucker. Yeah, trade deadline this. Let's over-promote the trade deadline and do all this shit. Yeah, think about it from the aspect I just put it out as. And everybody who's all, ooh, I love the trade deadline. That's the energy I look at when I hear this shit. That's the energy that I think about when I hear this shit. Yeah, I'll say some shit nobody else will say. I'll speak the truth on this, why this is ugly and gross. This whole fucking trade deadline phenomena. Yeah, I will. And if nobody else says it, at least the Raptors freak will say it. That's right. That's right. It's bullshit. Seriously. And I don't understand. These guys are so gleeful. They come in and they're like, oh, what do you think about the trade deadline? Oh, I love it. It's great. I love saying goodbye to my best friends. I love having to pack up my little daughter and all of her little toddler toys and fucking move to Sacramento. Yeah, I love it. Oh, it's great. Oh, I love it. Let's ask you about the trade deadline. Motherfucker, we have a back-to-back. I don't give a shit. We're playing basketball. That's basically what Sandro should have said. I don't give a shit about the trade deadline. I don't give a shit. Darko keeps saying it's above my pay grade. I don't have anything to do with this. You have to ask Bobby. You know, they keep asking him, would you want a big? Darko, do you want a big? Oh, do you want a big? I don't. I play with who I have. I want a guy named Jakob Poeltl. He's great, I hear. I want to have him on my team. You know, it's so stupid. Ah, anyway, all right, I'll get off my rant. It's not Friday, is it? No, it's not. Fiercely saying Colin and Mamu need to show up against Gobert if he plays. Yeah, Rudy's going to play. Rudy's not on the injury list. He should be there tonight, and he will be a good test for the young rookie, Colin Murray-Boyles. It's like, hello, Colin. Welcome to the NBA. This is Rudy Gobert of Team France, and he's a defensive player of the year multiple times. Go ahead and have at it. Like, welcome to the NBA, Murray-Boyles. Here's Rudy Gobert. Oh, I want to see him strip him, though. It'd be very interesting to see the size and strength matchup. Can Colin hold his own? Can Colin kind of hold him off? Because he has this weird strength as his undersized forward who plays center. He has a weird strength. Like, this will be interesting. Maybe it is a little bit like WWE night because you got big old Gobert coming out there like fucking Andre the Giant. And, well, we got Colin Murray-Boyles got to be Hulk Hogan and Hulk up. WrestleMania 3, Pontiac Silverdome. Is that what we're getting tonight? WrestleMania. Ah, you know, it's WWE night. Yeah, there's apparently a couple of wrestlers that are going to be at the game tonight. I forget the names. Let me go look at it. Who was it? Blake Murphy had posted yesterday. He had the list. Trick Williams and Lash Legend are probable for WWE night and probably will be sitting at courtside for the Raptors game. A couple of WWE current superstars should be at the game tonight because of the crossover. That's right, the crossover. That's right. Trevor J, why are you deleting Trevor his messages? Let me see. Let's see. Smooth saying Boston getting Nikola puts them as a clear favorite. I like the move a lot. He's going to be refreshed playing there. Harden becomes the lead guard there. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. I don't think that Boston's the clear favorite. I think that they have a realistic chance to be a championship contender, but I don't think they're the clear favorite in the East still. It's just they went from a team that I thought wasn't going to even make the playoffs to a playoff team earning it on their own to actually now they have a serious chance because they actually have a real big at this point. So, yeah, let's stop glazing other teams, Reg. Come on now. I only said this because it's true. They made the best deal yesterday, but let's not say that, oh, they're the favorite now. Fuck that. We don't want the Celtics winning jack shit. They're going to fail and lose still, but they do have a better chance of winning a championship now because they got Vucevic. Yeah, Harden becomes the lead guard there. Well, that's just going to be a convoluted, fucked up mess right there because Donovan Mitchell needs the ball. That's where they go wrong right there. Let's Winders this. Donovan Mitchell's playing with James Harden. That's fucked up right there because neither one of those guys, I mean, I know that James Harden has played point guard and he did for the Sixers when he was on the Sixers with those guys. He was playing a lot of heavy point guard, but there's going to be a weird struggle there. I don't know. Unless James comes in and he says, yeah, I'm your new point guard now. You're saying he's the lead guard. He's not the fucking lead guard. Donovan is. Donovan's the scorer. Donovan's not going to play point guard. It's more likely James is going to facilitate and pass to everybody and be the point guard now. That's more likely. I mean, that's kind of the trend that James has been going towards more in recent years in his later career is being more like a facilitator and just getting off on passing to people like Embiid and Kawhi. And, I could see that. But I also could see this whole weirdness where both of them want to be the guy and both of them take a lot of quantity of shots and there's just not enough shots around and there's dysfunction and it's not a good pair. Like that's your starting backcourt, Harden and Mitchell. In some ways, that's the kind of thing like a couple years ago, you'd be like, wow, this is such a good backcourt. To me, it's like there's only one ball. How the fuck are you going to get both these guys what they're supposed to get for them to be the production that they usually do? Because it doesn't make sense to me. In some ways, Garland was a better foil with Mitchell than Harden. We'll have to see how it works. Fiercely saying the Bulls heavily favor guards. Such a weird roster. Who will be the five now? Giddey? I don't care. We'll see them tomorrow, and I'll look at them tonight after the game. I have to think only tunnel vision on the first one in front of us, and I have not researched the Bulls, so I can't tell you an answer to this question. I'm only thinking Timberwolves right now, one at a time. That's right. Let's see. Message retracted. What did you say, G? Let's see. Trevor, why did you delete all of his messages? Seriously, did you do that on purpose or not? Smith saying he's 36 now, so I think this might be his final contract unless the Cavs get to Game 7. I think it's a bold move. They're going to trade Lonzo Ball next. Yeah. Yeah. Either way, man. I mean, that was a stupid move in itself, getting Lonzo. Like, I was like, this is dumb. And I think this is a dumb move, too. I think Cleveland's shooting themselves in the foot. They're going overboard. And in some ways, they're trying because they're desperate. They know that they need to do something this year or it's a big failure. And they're desperate. So they're going to throw a new huge piece in the middle of things and halfway through the season and just hope that it works out. Well, in a lot of ways, they're throwing caution in the wind because that's not guaranteed to work out, and it could go either way. It could go worse. Their season could get worse now than they were already on the pace for, and their postseason's doomed because we know the track record of James Harden in the postseason. Oh, I think it's so stupid, man. Kesper's saying Cavs got better at 5 versus 8. That's it. Because the ref calls for James. Okay, I get what you're saying there. I get what you're saying. Let's see. All right, let me read all the comments for Reg. Grizzlies doing a full rebuild. Yeah, they're completely starting over. 7 first-round picks. Ja is next. Yeah, I would have thought hold on to Jaren and trade Ja, but I guess nobody's really that interested in Ja Morant. They could trade Jaren Jackson, though. They could trade him. Fiercely saying they moved an American player to the world roster and chose Kawhi over Ingram. Jokic was on me. Disappointing NBA. Yeah, I didn't expect this to happen like this way. It doesn't have any rhyme or reason. Once again, these are like undercurrent slightings of the world team. There's all kinds of like stuff like they want perception to seem like the USA is way ahead of the world in all kinds of ways. And in some ways, even our coach getting named as world coach, congratulations, is amazing. I love this. It's fantastic. It's a great fit. I know yesterday I was saying it wasn't true yet, but it wasn't until we saw it for real, bona fide. And that was during the stream. And like I said, I'm not taking any news from any sources on the internet until I see it from a trusted source. And well, thankfully it was true. And Darko did say in practice yesterday, they had been talking to him for a couple days about organizing to get him to be the world coach. So that's pretty cool. That's very, very cool. So I guess great minds think alike. A lot of different people were probably thinking that this made the most sense, that a third all-star team, you need a third coach. Well, how do you decide this? Well, let's give it the feel of international and pick the international coach for the Raptors. And that's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I would have put Sengun in as the replacement of Giannis and not even had Cat move anywhere. He could have just stayed on the other roster. Now, Kawhi could have got his spot next to come in on the other side. And then Brandon may be the next American that would make it for another injury replacement. That's not likely. So instead, Brandon's girlfriend will play in the celebrity game. That's what will happen. Nako's saying Utah is huge. Grizzlies doing good front office work. Cedric Coward is a good one. Yeah, I can't say any of that. I don't know if the Grizzlies did good front office work. It seems like they junked their team and now they're starting completely over. That doesn't mean that they're good. That means that they're probably going to be at the bottom of the standings for like the next 5 to 10 years is what it looks like to me as far as Memphis. Yeah. Yeah. Kesper's saying, I don't think Giannis has been officially replaced yet. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, you mean no, they have. They replaced Giannis with Kawhi. The graphic came out yesterday showing Kawhi in the All-Star advertisement. So yeah, it's official. Kawhi Leonard is the replacement for Giannis, and they've shifted Cat to the world team to make the rosters even, which is so stupid. They're doing it because his grandmother's Dominican or something. Like, oh, we'll put him on there because he plays for Team Dominican. I think that's such a slap in the face. I mean, I would rather them added Josh Giddey or Alperen Sengun or there's other players that are in the league that are actually world players that could have been on this all-star team that fit. Sengun probably the big one right there. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Reggie's saying this. Memphis wants Zach Edey and Coward at the centerpieces of their team. They're not really the right kind of players. I mean, Zach is. Coward's a great young player, but is he really like a centerpiece to a franchise? They need like a more of a guard guy to run with them. It'd be great if Ja was actually who he's supposed to be. Maybe it would work. But yeah. G saying Jock did change his shot. Yeah, he did. He did change his shot a bit. At least in the footage we saw. Maybe he was just goofing around with it. Maybe, maybe. Why are y'all retracting all your messages? I don't see this. If Miami fails getting Giannis, they will go for Ja. Yeah. Either way, you're too trade crazy. I might have to time you out for the next 24 hours because you are. You're too trade crazy. And maybe that's why Trevor has deleted your messages because you're just too trade crazy, Reggie. This is not your channel, your home channel for right now. If you're going to be trade crazy, you need to go and hang out with other Raptors channels that are into this. We're not. We're not into this, just so you know. Nako's saying letting go of Dylan was a bad idea. He said when he says it that way, I know Gerald. He's going. Letting go of Dylan was a bad idea. That's how Nako would say it. Harden chokes in the playoffs. He went to a team that chokes in the playoffs. Yeah, that's a perfect fit, and that's the way it goes. And before I choke, I'm gonna drink some water. Yeah, yeah, that's good. I'm gonna give you a dunk, Nako. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. What he just said. A player that chokes by himself went to a team that chokes as a team in the playoffs. That's right. There's no LeBron on that team. You choke in the playoffs, Cleveland. That's just how it is. All right. So Nako is at 6. He's got the Pickering 6. There you go. Pickering 6. Corey Joseph. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see. Smooth saying Cleveland looking to get LeBron back. People in LA are talking about that. Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit. Also, there's an article. See, this is why I hate this shit, Reggie, because it's all rumor and bullshit. Until it happens, I'll talk about it, like the moves that happened yesterday. But yeah, you're saying this, and LeBron's saying, I think I'm going to play the rest of the season with the Lakers. So it's like, I don't care. This is all hot air. This is a waste of our fucking time and our energy. Seriously, I'm sick of this shit. I'm so sick of the trade deadline. Kareem saying, great Raptor said, sometimes it's the trade you don't make is the biggest trade. Exactly. Exactly. Just because you feel like you got to make a trade don't mean you need to. It don't mean you need to. That's right. Smooth saying he's likely to finish the season there and back to the Cavs next year. Yeah, I don't care. This is not Lakers freak. I don't give a shit. This is not LeBron freak. I don't care what LeBron does. Whatever. This is not something that I want to speculate or even talk about. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Good morning to you, Coach Cool Cat. Hope you're having a fantastic middle of the week. Kareem saying a big move is in the play right now. Get a healthy Jakob back and get a real evaluation at the end of the season. But if Jakob timeline is a few more weeks away from being healthy, then acquire a backup big. Yeah, I can get behind that. I mean, I don't think we could do that though. It's like the trade deadline's a trade deadline. We're done. If we're going to try and get somebody after that, it's a 10-day contract on a player that's like a little player that may not have an impact. You know, that's the thing. If we're going to do this, like for a Day'Ron Sharp, we got to do this in the next day or so. So we'll see. And we got to trust in Bobby. He's going to get it right. He'll make the right decision considering everything. I know he will. I trust him on it. That's right. I do. That's right. Smooth saying better for the Bucks wait till the summer. Better for Giannis to be moved now so he gets max money. Yeah, either way, I don't care. I don't give a shit. Once again, you guys are over trade talk, and I want to talk about the Raptors and the Timberwolves. I hate this, man. And maybe this is why Trevor took your comments out, is because it's like, man, he's going to trade talk, and it's kind of bullshit. And if you're trolling to do that on purpose, Reggie, I'm asking you not to do this. Seriously. Troy Henry saying, where Giannis will be going tomorrow? I don't know. I don't care, Troy Henry. Good morning to you. Good to see you. Kareem saying, if the Bucks wait till the end of the summer, that will hinder Giannis to sign an extension. Trust me when I tell you, if Giannis wants out, trade him at the deadline. If not, I'm sure he'll sit and protest. Yeah, I don't know. Let's not speculate anything on him. Like I said, they have said so much shit about Giannis Antetokounmpo for 10 years now, guys. And how much of that was all just bullshit and hot air. Let's think about the longevity of this. Like, how long has this been going on? How long do we have the boy cry wolf? And y'all keep saying, oh, the wolf's here. And he's like, no, he's fucking with you. That's what I'm saying. If it does finally happen, well, I'll just react to it then. But in some ways, all the extra energy and the pre-talk and the pre-hype is absolutely unnecessary. Who cares? Who cares? Like I said, I put my stance on Giannis earlier as far as like, this is not good for the league. Small market teams or mid-market teams should be able to keep their franchise player for their whole entire career if they want to. Just because Adam Silver wants to dislodge him and put him somewhere else, I hate that. That's not good for the Raptors franchise in the whole scheme of things. If you wonder about this, why the fuck can Steph Curry and Draymond be on the same team for 15 years? Why the fuck can Jalen and Jason be on the same team for 10 years and nobody's fucking with them on that, right? That's what I'm saying, y'all. This whole thing about Giannis out of Milwaukee is not good for the league. It's not good for the Raptors. It's not good for the Raptors if you really look at the big picture. And that's what I'm trying to say here, man. That's what I'm saying right here. That's right. Smooth saying, yeah, but Bucks fans don't seem all that pissed though. Lex, Giannis had a chronic calf condition. He's injured a lot. That's crazy, man. Listen, you may be listening to some of the fringe fucking idiots that are just crazy in Bucks Nation. Anybody who's a true Bucks fan is with Giannis and rolling with him. Come on, you're crazy, man. Seriously, you can listen to the fringe voices, maybe even NBA bot voices, and get a feel for what people are saying. Don't get it twisted. He leaves that city, people are gutted. People are devastated. It's just like Luca. Let's not get it twisted, man. If you can't put yourself in the place of a Bucks fan and you think that they're just tired of him and they're ready for him to go, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy if you think that's true. Fiercely saying, I noticed Giannis is coaching at the All Stars with his brothers. I think as long as they're around him, he's happy. Anyway, that's missing the point. He's coaching the celebrity game. He's going to be coaching the celebrity game, and he'll be coaching the team with Jeremy Lin. There's a crazy amount of Raptors champions involved in the All-Star weekend. But now that we got Norman as an All-Star with Pascal and Kawhi, we've got so many different members from the 2019 NBA championship Toronto Raptors that, they're just showing up like Jeremy Lin in the celebrity game. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool if you think about it. How much effect in the aftermath since our championship, how much it's represented in excellence today. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I love that, man. Yeah, Josh Monroe saying, is this going to be Oshai's last game? It looks like it. Maybe. That may be true. That may be very well true. That's something like Josh Monroe has a realistic statement here of speculation. It could very well be true that he's not going to be playing for us Chicago tomorrow night, because the deadline's at 3 tomorrow. Yeah, that's a pretty apropos prediction right there. We'll have to see. Cool Cat saying, yep, I agree. Trading is like herding livestock, no humanity. That's why I feel like it's so sick and disgusting, the way that the whole media machine treats it. And just how gleeful some of these reporters are when they come in and ask questions about the trade deadline. You are totally not fucking seeing the context and the whole bigger picture. Eric Kareen and Josh Lewenberg with your giddy ass little dumbass trade questions. Seriously, Michael Grange, you motherfuckers. That's what I say. I love you, Lewenberg. You're all right. But man, Kareen, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like, he's on camera with the Darko while he's doing the interview yesterday at practice. And Darko will answer questions, and Kareen is gaslighting him with his facial expressions. He's kind of like, he's like making faces like shit smells or something near him. It's like Darko's answering the question. He's saying what he believes and what he's saying. And like Kareen doesn't trust him or something like that. He's like looking at him like, what do you mean, Darko? That's not true. He's like, he's being a little fucking troll right next to him. Disrespectful. It's like, like rolling his eyes and shit like that. Fuck you, Eric Kareen, with your stupid ass shit. Make sure you're not on camera view when you're making your ugly little faces. How about that? Because we can see them. We can see your little reactions to what Coach Rajakovic is saying. You're like, roll your eyes. Oh, like that's true. Your body language betrays you. You sorry, whiny piece of shit. Yeah, that's what I say to that motherfucker. That's right. Yeah, that's for having Yak's back. That's right. Freak out Wednesday. That's right. That's right. Nako's saying this. Boston ain't better than Detroit. Detroit making it out of the East. Nako's lock of the week. Is that a segment now? Nako's lock of the week? I've never heard this one. That's interesting. I don't know if Detroit's better. I don't know, man. I want to gauge them. We'll gauge them when we play them coming up. I don't know if they're better. In some ways, they've done very well. Their record is fantastic. But I'll have to see the nuts and bolts of what they're doing when they play the Raptors. And I'll kind of be like, oh, okay, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, they're unknown. In some ways, you can't, the teams that get far in the playoffs the year before in the East are the ones you should kind of look at being the more apt to rise up to get to the finals. And the Pacers are out of it this year. So you look at teams like Boston and New York and Cleveland as the three teams that are probably the most experienced and ready. But Detroit is unproven. And in some ways, their young core as much as they're doing well in the regular season, doesn't mean that they're going to be getting through the Eastern Conference. That's the tough thing. We'll just have to see. That's your lock of the week. Well, we can't find out if that's a lock of the week because it's not going to be figured out in a week. Trevor's saying, I'm very sorry. My hands accidentally touched. Smooth. Sorry, man. I didn't realize I was doing that. Okay, it's all good, Trevor. It's all good. I thought you did it on purpose because he's over talking trade deadline. I don't know, man. Kesper's saying, the thing about the Celtics is that their system works. Vooch isn't even as good, but their offense-defense system can easily cover up his weaknesses, like how Porzingis was just a non-factor. I think he's a way better player for them than Porzingis. I really do. He's just a better team player. He's a better he's underrated, man. Nikola Vucevic has been one of the best centers in the league for a while now. It's just that he's been buried in Chicago for the last few years and just not getting the he's really like annoying. I say that whenever we played the Bulls in recent years, part of the reason why we'd have trouble with the Bulls was him. So this is a tough move for a lot of teams. In some ways, we'll just have to see how it works out. But I think that was the best move yesterday that the Celtics did. And I don't like saying that. You know that I don't like the Celtics. You know I don't like the Celtics. Shaq Lindsay saying Utah's looking dangerous. Grizz have a lot of young plate pieces. I wonder if they can lend us some shooting guards. We don't need shooting guards. That's the last thing we need. We have enough shooting guards. We need bigs. Utah has good players, but it doesn't mean that they'll fit, and it doesn't mean that it'll work out. I think that they still need to move Markkanen. Even if they have Markkanen with Jackson, I don't know. Utah doesn't make any sense to me. We just saw them, and I don't think they're that good. Their record's horrible this year, and this move, as much as you may think it's going to make them better, I don't know if it does. They may just be just as shitty next year. Trust me. Yeah, I don't think Jaren Jackson's a needle pusher. Let's just put it that way, man. Let's see. Power saying, damn, we need a big man badly. Everyone making great moves while we sit and watch. Yeah, see, Power's opinion is like a lot of Raptors Nation, which I think is folly. You guys need to just chill. Who cares? It's like the one thing is like, oh, just because Billy did it doesn't mean you need to do it, right? Oh, Billy jumped off the Wachachashi Bridge into the creek. Oh, that's dangerous, Johnny. You shouldn't do that. Just because Billy did it doesn't mean we need to do it. That's the way I look at it. Power's like, oh, no, we need a big man badly. Well, what is the fucking schedule, Power? What is the most important thing to do is to rebuild and build the team over time. Is it desperate for this year on a short clock for the rest of the half of the season? No, it's not, because we're not a true championship contender that's near the top, going for it. We're a team that's got to try out their legs in the playoffs first for a couple years. So why would we spend our shot this season when we're not in the position to realistically go for the whole thing? So our reasoning for what we do at this trade deadline is totally different than the Celtics, totally different than the Cavs, because those two teams are teams that are trying to get a championship this year because they have to, in some ways, championship or bust. The Celtics are not as important just because of Tatum, but they say we might as well fuck around and try and find out. But yeah, Power, don't gaslight me and make me feel like, oh, we have to do something just because other people are doing it. That's not the right attitude. In some ways, that's where you make mistakes, when you think you have to do something for the sake of doing something because you see other people doing something. It's the truth. It's the truth. And I don't have this mentality. We need a big man badly. Yeah, maybe we do need a big man, but it may be a Day'Ron Sharpe, and it may not be anybody that's that, illustrious, Kareem saying, fuck it, trade Keita for Oshai. The Celtics won't do that for us. Seriously, think about this. That's the other factor. Everybody says, oh, it's so easy to make trades. You got to understand, a lot of these teams are competing with us, and they're not trying to make us better. So it's like the Celtics see, well, the Raptors have problems with big men. We are definitely not trading Keita to the Raptors. I mean, you guys got to think about this. This is competition. And it's like, oh, you love for that to happen. But you know what? Is Brad Stevens going to let that happen? Kareem? No, he won't. He won't let that happen. In fact, Keita is part of their depth at center. They're not trying to trade Keita. He's been a very good project and young player for them, who's held in, who's done well for them beyond his years. So I don't know why you said this, man. Jimmy's saying Raptors, Knicks, and Pacers linked to Eves Missy, but the Pelicans are looking for a first. Yeah, all speculation until it's something for real with the Raptors. I don't care. Kessler's saying because Kareem's writing favors the American propaganda, probably on that narrative's payroll. He's on The Athletic. Yeah. The Athletic is an American company. And in some ways, Eric Kareen's always been suspicious as a troll and a Raptor hater on the down low. Like he's a negative person. He's a cynic. He's miserable. You could look at him on the camera and look at him and you're like, what a wormy little shit. Seriously, like what the fuck is wrong with that guy? Yeah, he's like he seems like he's a person who has personal hell in his life. Like he's like, I'm just a cynic and I'm just a realist. I believe in the world and it's so we're all doomed. He's just like a fucking Eeyore. And who knows? I hope he doesn't have any serious personal problems in his private life, but he does seem like a miserable soul. Let's just put it that way. You see him off camera, like he's standing next to Darko, and he looks like he's just like miserable and depressed, like he's a sad, pathetic fool. I think he might drink too much, and he's just hung over all the time. That might be what it is. Shaq Lindsay saying, "Do you think all these trade rumors surrounding RJ will affect his relationship with the front office?" No, no, that's a great question, Shaq Lindsay. I love what Lindsay Dunn, speaking of Lindsay's, came out yesterday and posted a little TikTok telling Raptors fans to stop talking about trading RJ. Thank you, Lindsay Dunn. Thank you. But realize that your friends on Hello and Welcome, they stir the pot when they put out content talking about trading RJ, even if their stance is to not trade him. They put that hot button topic out there just to get clicks. And I'm like, don't fucking do that. Seriously, don't encourage them with this bullshit talk. And well, Lindsay, thank you for your PSA yesterday saying, Raptors fans, stop talking about trading RJ. And I'm with her completely, 100%. Thank you, Lindsay Dunn, for saying that. No, RJ is tight with Bobby. RJ's tight with our front office. RJ's tight with the team. He's in full communication. He knows the drill. And, you see it in stuff like RJ having the mic congratulating Scott for the all-star berth at the end of the last game. This whole slam cover with Brandon and Scotty on it, cold front. It's amazing. And the natural thing for RJ would be like, I'm jealous or I'm sad. I should be on the cover with them. Or, even like the whole idea that Scotty's a two-time all-star and RJ has not gotten the all-star team yet. And he's been in the league longer than Scotty. There's a lot of little places where seedlings of jealousy and anger could come, but he's above it. He's mature and he understands the whole thing. See, that's the thing. If RJ Barrett was a low functioning person, in some ways, if he wasn't an educated Canadian citizen who had good education and is well-rounded individual and understands things from an ego perspective on both sides, he may have gotten a little caught up with his own feelings on certain things that I just mentioned. But he's above it all. He gets it. He gets it. And he's damn for sure. Like he can just call them and they'll talk to him and stuff like that. They do worry. And Jamal said in his interview yesterday, he's been talking with RJ about this, that it's a business and they understand this aspect of it. In some ways, it's tough and it's not easy to deal with, but they understand this and they have to understand that they have to cede control of their lives to a degree, that they have no control over certain things. And they understand this. That's why I plead and say over and over again to Bobby, do not do anything with RJ because it'll be a bad thing. It's like Lindsay said in her plea. It's like RJ's doing great and he loves playing for this team. Why are y'all keep talking about trading RJ? I love that she did that. Seriously, I really do love that Lindsay Dunn came out and did that PSA in the last couple of days. That was fantastic, man. That's fantastic. So, no, I think communication with RJ in the front office is fine, and he's not worried about this. If they did trade him, I'm sure that hopefully Bobby would give him the ultimate respect of handling it in a way that is done properly. But I don't see them doing it, and I hope they don't. I hope they don't. I really hope they don't. In some ways, 3 o'clock can't come fast enough. And all of us want to breathe a little sigh of relief when the Raptors are not doing anything major to their roster. And anybody wants them to do something major to the roster, you're an idiot. Let's just put it that way. You're an idiot. Kesper is saying maybe Vooch just played lackadaisical in Chicago stats-wise because of their situation. No, I don't see that, man. I think that Vucevic was a very good player for the Bulls in a lot of different ways. And I don't know if you're looking solely at stats compared to his stats in Orlando. I mean, that's not something you should do. You should just basically see, like, on the court, is he adding up to more winning? Is he a problem on the court as an individual player? What kind of things does he add for the Celtics with what his skills are? And that's the thing. They've been running without a true center this whole season, and now they got one all of a sudden. That's going to be very interesting. And he's a high level one, seriously. Yeah, Shaq saying, I hope the front office is communicating with him behind the scenes and don't make the same mistake they did with Pascal. Well, the whole thing that happened with Siakam was over the offseason. And in some ways, that was a mistake that Masai did. But in some ways, it was the painful, tough decision that he had to do for the transition of getting away from that cohort of Raptors at that time. You know, the writing was on the wall for Fred. The writing was on the wall for OG. The writing was on the wall for Pascal. And we weren't kidding ourselves. In some ways, maybe Masai didn't talk to him as much that summer because he didn't want to be fake towards him and be acting like, oh, yeah, things are going to be great, Siakam. You come back this season, we're going to be great. No, maybe it's part of the message for Siakam and Todd Rampere is like, look, we're not talking to you this summer. So, yeah, you figure it out. This is what's up. I mean, I know that Masai said that he felt bad about not talking to Siakam that summer, but maybe, you know, as friendly oriented, family oriented as the Raptors organization is, that was his way of doing tough love to say, like, yeah, this is kind of how we're going, and maybe a respectful way instead of like blowing smoke up his ass for a summer and saying, oh, this is great, this is great. Does that make sense, Shaq Lindsay? Because I know that I don't think Siakam was that upset about the stuff, and maybe he was on the down low, but for the most part, he was professional and he was busy that summer anyway with Red Bull and Austria and all kinds of other things going on in his life. He wasn't even in the country. Like he spent most of that summer in Europe, and you know, he wasn't around Masai and Bobby enough for them to keep in constant communication. So you know, there's a couple of different reasons for this that happened that summer. Was Siakam reaching out to them the other way? That's another question you got to ask. That's the other thing. Power saying this. Just get. Hang on. Let's see what he's saying. It jumped ahead. Wow, lots of filling up here. It's good. It's good. Lots of people caring about stuff, caring about things going on with the team. Let's see. Where is that comment? I just missed it. Just getting tired of seeing BI and Scotty play out of position. Why are they playing out of position? Brandon's not playing out of position. Scotty might be, but there's damn for sure no way Brandon Ingram's playing out of position. I don't know how you read that. Scotty is playing out of position as far as I don't want him playing center. Sure. But Brandon, you can slot him from 2 to 4 and he's comfortable. It doesn't matter. You can play him at 4. He's got the length to do it. And he's got the ball handling and the drive skills to play 2. His natural position is 3. Yes. And then he's playing 3. That's the thing I don't get. Brandon Ingram's playing 3. Scotty's the 5 and Collins the 4, or switch them back and forth. RJ's the 2. Emmanuel's the 1. Brandon's the 3. That's his natural position. You know, he can't get away with playing power forward. We've seen Brandon switching on to centers a lot in recent games. You know, he's playing Quentin Post and different people like that. So yeah, I don't get that. I Scotty for sure. Scotty's out of position. That's right. Neil's got what is that? Is that a frog? Is that a frog? What is that animal? I can't see it that well. It's a dragon. It's a dragon. Interesting. Power saying, and we don't need some all-star big, just someone to fill the void until Yak comes back before the playoffs. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Lionheart saying, what about RJ off the bench? What about RJ off the bench? We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. What do you mean? When Yacht comes back, we bump RJ to the bench and keep Colin in the starting lineup? No, that's not gonna happen. We gotta do it right. Colin goes back to the bench when Yacht comes back. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. We talked about RJ off the bench a couple times in the last couple of years, and I always get to the same position. Before it was like people were saying we should start Grady over RJ, and I'm like, you're crazy. You're crazy. Absolutely crazy. G saying if we make a small move to grab a backup big and overpay a bit, Raps Nation should not go crazy. Teams know we need one. There will be other times we fleece another team, one step at a time. See, yeah, that's another part of it. If they know that that's our need and our weakness, they can very much leverage that. Leverage that. Yeah, that's absolutely true. KT saying, let's get off the trade deadline for a bit. I realized that me and my daughter don't like ketchup on our eggs. And my wife and son do. I feel like me and my daughter are normal and the other two are effed. I don't know about this, man. As somebody who's put ketchup on his eggs, that's fine. That's fine. I don't do it all the time, but it's not a big deal. You can put ketchup on your eggs. Yeah, you and your daughter are weird. That's just how it is. We really have to make this a thing where somebody has to be weird. I'm gonna say you guys are weird because a lot of people eat ketchup on their eggs. So I'm on the other team. What is this? Pineapple pizza day or something? We gotta do this too? Come on now. Come on. All right. You want a poll? You got a poll. Let's just see how normalized this is. All right. Ketchup on eggs. That's all I'm gonna write in here. Ketchup on eggs. And yes or no is the answer. All right. Go. Let's see who gets this. Who gets this one today? Yeah, we'll have to see here. This is a poll of the day. It's frivolous. It's no, and yes. Ooh, it's going back and forth already. Interesting. I like it. All right, we'll have to see who wins that one at the end. Thank you for the distraction. Thank you for the distraction. Yeah. Let's see. Where am I in the chat? He got in there for a second. Okay, yeah. Shaq Lindsay saying Boston trade made no sense. Nick Vucevic is washed up. I don't believe that. The Bulls couldn't wait to get rid of him. Wow. I thought he was one of the only quality guys on their roster. Man, perception is so different from different people's minds. Yeah, I don't see this. We'll just have to see how it works out. I hope you're right, though, because in some ways, if he is washed and this doesn't work out for the Celtics, that makes me happier than it does work out. Jimmy's saying, just letting you know, the market for a young backup, Day'Ron Sharpe, will also likely demand a first also. They know we need size and will squeeze us. Yeah, we'll just have to see. Once again, I don't want to speculate anymore. 3 p.m. come by, and we'll see what happened. The dust settles after the trade deadline. That's right. That's right. Kareem saying, Shaq, you clearly didn't see how the Celtics like to play their bigs. Al Horford. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. I think Vucevic is going to be good for them, unfortunately. G saying, exactly, Jimmy. Fans should not overreact if that happens. Yeah. Let's see. Blackhawks saying, KT, you crazy. Ketchup on eggs rocks. There you go. 50%, 56% are saying ketchup on eggs rocks. Okay. Okay, this is good. This is a scientific poll. We'll find definitive results soon. Shaq Lizzie saying Simon was putting up numbers off the bench. Yeah, but he's duplicitous on the team with White and Brown and, a lot of their strength players. Tatum's just out. I always thought that it was just kind of he was a weird equalizer for trade and the way they got him and just like a young talent, but he didn't stick. I guess he wasn't Celtics material. They would have kept him around longer. Yeah, Simons. Yeah, Bryce is saying, personally, I will be upset if we don't make a move for a backup big, even though we are contending. We are competing. This is an important time of the year, even though we aren't contending. Well, we don't know if we will or not. It's just in some ways, we got to say this. We know we have a young core that's not got a lot of playoff experience, and that usually means they're going to get beat and not go very far in the playoffs. That's the only reason why I would say, the Raptors aren't a true championship contender is because we have to get our feet in the pool for a second before we go swimming. And in some ways, we don't have that foot in the pool yet. Like Scotty, very little playoff experience. And, RJ and Emmanuel got some. Brandon's got a little bit, not a whole lot, himself either. So, these guys got to try out the playoffs and see what it's all about. And it's a normal progression for a rebuilding team with a young core that they're going to have to fail in the playoffs at least 1 year, if not multiple years, before they get really far in the playoffs. So we'll just have to see. Let's see. And if they don't make the move, Bryce, that's up to you if you want to get upset. You don't have to. It's your choice. You could save yourself that pain or anger. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You could just be like, oh, they didn't do anything. I mean, it's optional. You don't have to get mad. You don't have to get mad. KT saying Celtics have plenty of players off the bench to put up numbers. Their coach is a really good coach. Simons was dispensable. Yeah, he totally was. He totally was a spare part. And that's what I'm saying. They turned a spare part, which in some ways we have spare parts at that position too on our team right now. And they turned it into a starting center. That's amazing. That's the kind of move that the Celtics, who have privilege in this league, can pull off and get done. In some ways, that's annoying, man. I wish we could do moves like that. But in some ways, it's the NBA is not trying to help the Raptors to get moves like that to happen. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying, I agree, but Nick wasn't the answer. Nick Nurse. Who are we talking about? Nick, all of a sudden. Who? Nick what? Power's saying this. Vooch is a pretty good big man. 17 points per game, 11 rebounds a game is pretty decent numbers for a big. Plus, he stretches the floor with his outside shooting. Like I said, I think he's a better team player than Porzingis, and he's an upgrade. Porzingis is a dud, man. There's all kinds of problems with him. Vucevic is actually a good player. And that's what I worry about is like, you lose Horford and Porzingis, and now you kind of run without a center. You got these young guys, Garza and Keita. Now you go and you get Vucevic. Well, that's a big deal, man. I'm telling you, that's a big deal right there. Yeah, Bryce is saying, yeah, Shaq, you're sleeping on Vooch. He'll have less of a load on the Celtics. It's a good move. Yeah, it's a good move. The one move I say is the best move yesterday, honestly. G saying the extra step making a trade is making sure you give up a player or picks that the player you trade for will stay. Yep, that's another part of it. You can make these moves, and all of a sudden, bro is out in a free agency in the summer or something like that. That's right. Lionheart saying shooting is bad, bro. For the Raptors, yeah, we got to do better. I blame our bench guys that are supposed to be good shooters. They need to be better shooters. Whichever 3-point specialist you can insert there. It doesn't matter. I won't say any names right now. There's certain players on the bench that need to make their threes that are not, and this is where the problem is. Shaq Lindsay saying you have to listen to Bulls podcast and analyze regarding Nick Vooch. Not good. Nick is no different from Porzingis. That's not true. Nikola Vucevic is a nice guy. He's not a prickly jerk who does not bond with his teammates. That's what Porzingis is. Porzingis is an antisocial person who has nothing to do with his teammates. He's very hard to get along with. He's somebody that does not connect with people. He doesn't have a whole lot in common with most average NBA players, and he doesn't try to have anything in common with them. I get all that energy from Kristaps, and it's been the same at every stop he's been at. He's never bonded with his teammates. Vucevic bonds with his teammates. He's actually a guy who smiles and talks and communicates with people. He's actually a dude that looks like he's enjoying himself. So, yeah, no, there's a huge night and day difference between Kristaps and Nikola as far as their demeanor. And that's why I keep saying Nikola's a much better team player than Kristaps. That's why I keep saying that. It's because of his personality. It's because, Nikola has been a good citizen in the NBA where he's kind of been toiling away in Chicago in some ways, not going anywhere in the last few years. And he hasn't been that totally upset about it. But now he's getting out of there. So that's the other thing. He could have a whole other level of feeling free just because he's in a better situation all of a sudden. So we'll just have to see. So you're saying Nick for Nikola. See, I'm not going to think Nick when you say that. I'm going to think Nurse. So yeah, that's why full name is important on this channel. Yeah. Kareem saying some players just hate where they are. I'm sure Vooch will be energized playing for the contender. It's hard to be motivated spinning your wheels for almost 5 years now. This is exactly what I was just saying. Kareem's saying it too. Mo's saying keep up the great streams. Thank you, Mo. Keep up being the best super fan in the Raptors nation. Keep that up. That's right. I rank her higher than Nav. For sure. For sure. Monique, the superfan Lawrence, is number one on my superfan power rankings. Well, where are the Raptors in this morning's ESPN power rankings that came out this morning? Well, we dropped, guys. We were at 8 last week, and we dropped all the way to 11. I think that's just from the 2 losses from the Knicks and the Magic loss. We lost those 2 games, and they dropped us 3 spots. There's a lot of other teams that are losing way more, and they don't drop them like that. So it's kind of annoying. We're 11th now. They have a thing this week where they're talking about the player with the most pressure on each of the 30 teams, and they're saying Colin Murray-Boyles has the most pressure on the Raptors because he has to play center in the absence of Jakob Poeltl, and that makes sense. Murray-Boyles' veteran teammates might be facing more pressure overall. Brandon Ingram, for instance, has never won a playoff series, but due to Jakob Poeltl's lingering back injury, Murray-Boyles has been thrust into a situation filled with tremendous pressure. He's now the 6'7" starting center for a playoff team and charged with anchoring, along with Scotty Barnes, a top 10 defense as a rookie. Toronto might alleviate some of that pressure if it trades for a big man before the deadline. But for now, the number 9 pick in last year's draft is poised to enter a gauntlet this spring. Poised to enter a gauntlet. Did you guys ever play that old video game Yeah, I like to be the little elf with the bow and arrow gauntlet. Yeah, that was a fun game. You could be the wizard, you could be the Valkyrie, you could be the barbarian. Yeah, that was a fun game. You go run around the little labyrinth, and with your you get the chest, and you eat the food, and you get the guys burp when they eat. They're like, "Argh." Yeah, that's a fun game. Gauntlet. So Colin Murray-Boyles is going to be running the gauntlet, according to Zach Cram. The teams that jumped ahead of us in the power rankings, Phoenix jumped over us. Cleveland jumped over us, which is stupid because we've swept them for the season. Minnesota jumped over us. The team we're playing tonight is ranked 8th. They took our spot, actually. The Celtics fell some spots, though, to 7th. And the Rockets fell from 3rd to 6th, too. So interesting stuff with the ESPN power rankings and how they're putting out the perceptions about, well, we lose 3 spots for 2 losses. That's annoying, man. That is annoying. Annoying. Wow, it's 50% on the catch-up debate. 50%, man. That's awesome. Shaq Lindsay saying, I probably should wait to say this after the trade deadline, but I'll say it anyway. The whole trade rumor around Sabonis didn't make any sense. Why would we give up a first-round pick to get rid of when it took a first to get him, plus to give up RJ2 for Sabonis? That's the thing. Bobby is not trying to do waste. That's another thing that people don't realize. Trading and doing a lot of transactions can cause waste for your team. The one thing we got to realize, and Mike talks about this all the time, Logical Raptors fanatic, he brought up this whole idea of GM waste. Like you get a lot of draft picks, you get a lot of different things, a lot of different money and exceptions and all kinds of stuff as an NBA GM. And well, you could have stuff where you just screw up and you waste. But the Raptors in their situation have been very efficient and they don't like to waste anything, whether it's a draft pick or anything. Like if they're doing a deal, they don't want to do something in the deal just for the sake of doing it. It has to make sense. And it has to be building towards something that is worthwhile. And a lot of teams will just do shit to make it happen. You know, oh yeah, we'll throw this in and do this. Not Bobby. In some ways, he well crafts it. And the OG trade is a good example of this. You know, what did he do? He checked off a multiple of things. He got a starting point guard and another starter for OG, and then he unloaded Malachi even. So there's a lot of method to the madness in the deal made by the Raptors. And they don't have to pull the trigger. That's the thing. They want to pull the trigger when it makes sense and it's optimal. And once again, let's think about this whole idea of GM waste, whether it's wasting a draft pick because you had like 5 of them in your Oklahoma City, whether it's wasting a guy that you put develop into because he just didn't work out and you had like 5 guys you were working out, Oklahoma City, and they just went away, Alexi Poku. There's waste in the NBA, but the Raptors don't waste. In some ways, like we have the spots on our roster already kind of figured out. Like that's how we can grow an undrafted player like Jamison Battle into what he's become. You know, that's a concept that not enough NBA fans and Raptors Nation are not thinking about. There's waste in GMing in this league, and you can waste opportunities. You can waste draft picks. You can waste all kinds of different shit and be a failing in that ways. But if you optimize all this stuff and you run at a high efficiency of not wasting this stuff, like the Raptors have the whole entire time with Webster and Ujiri, then you get a quality to your team. You get a quality to everything because it matters. You're not trying to do shit to fuck up. You're not shooting to miss, OG. You're drafting to make this player stay on your team, develop, and stick around and see the results of it come through for you and the fruits of it. That's what OG Anunoby is. That's what Pascal Siakam is. That's what Fred VanVleet is. That's what Norman Powell is. It's like, look, we could have waste. You guys want to have more waste? Well, we'll just do moves frivolously and do stupid shit, waste draft picks, waste. Because there's a lot of waste in the NBA. And the Raptors are one of the most efficient front offices. They really are on the down low if you look at it. They really, really, really are. Yeah. Let's see. Kareem saying, as a huge Garnett fan and Timberwolves fan in the late 90s and early 2000s, the Timberwolves have an atrocious record versus the Raptors at home. Yeah, this is the one thing about tonight that's kind of I didn't bring up yet is that the Raptors have defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves pretty regularly for a long time. This has been a streak that we've kept intact, even with all kinds of streaks going out the window during the COVID year and the Tampa year, that we kept up. Like we had winning streaks over the Lakers and the Sixers that went out the window at that time. And now, we still have this one that's intact with them Timberwolves that we need to take seriously and hold true once again. Scotty, understand the history of this streak against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and don't let your team tonight be the one that drops the ball, is what I'm saying right there. Yeah. So you thought back then, Kareem, that it was right for Kevin Garnett to get off the Timberwolves. I think in that situation was true, because in some ways the Timberwolves were not going to get anywhere. He did want to really get a championship. And in some ways, he did really want to leave Minnesota, and he did. He went into Boston and got his championship. So, I get that. But this situation with Giannis is different. It's different. It's a different thing in some ways to me. Shaq Lindsay saying when it took first to get him, plus to give up RJ too for Sabonis. Yeah, I think I read that. That was part of the other part of the comment. Kareem saying the vote is 50-50. Spider-Man meme pointing fingers. I guess we are all weird. Doesn't matter what side you pick. Now it's more no. More people are saying no ketchup on eggs. No ketchup on eggs. Interesting. Interesting. What about hot sauce? Some people do the hot sauce on eggs. They do something else, like steak sauce. If you get a steak and eggs and you get some of that A1 or HP steak sauce on the plate and your egg gets in it, that's actually like, oh, wait, your peanut butter got in my chocolate. Your chocolate got in my peanut butter. Your egg got in my HP. Saucy. Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. Kareem saying Steve Ballmer enters the chat. I heard the Raptors are looking for a center. We gave up lots of picks to Oklahoma City. What's your pitch for Zubac? I don't know. I think that's too steep. Once again, it's the level we're looking at. Like Power said, we don't need to get an all-star big name. We just need to get the right kind of fit for the time being until our guy comes back. That's right. Goretti Andrade, thank you for the subscription. Big report. Raptors do not want to send a first for Sabonis. Looks like RJ, Oshai, Grady, Temple, and a bunch of seconds. Yeah, I don't see that. Let me go look at the breaking news and see if this is just a rumor or if there's any kind of truth to anything. Let's see. I do not see any Raptors news on the wire right now. So I don't see anything that has to do with this at all. Lionheart is saying, what is going on with Grady, you think? Confidence. The NBA is hard. Desperation. Sticking to the plan, but even though he's not seeing results right now, maybe he'll get a breakthrough. That's what's going on, I think. Yeah. As per Chris Haynes, I added the salary fillers to match. Okay, yeah, either way, we don't do this. This is not that channel. Kareem saying KG never wanted to leave, but he is a winner and plays the game to win. There's an interview with Bill Russell and KG after he got traded. He was crying. He never wanted to leave, but he's a winner. Yeah, I mean, that was tough and emotional. And it'll be the same thing for Giannis if this does come to fruition, that Giannis is not a buck anymore. It's going to be it's a very similar situation in a lot of ways. Very similar, except for Giannis got that chip. And in some ways, he doesn't really need to go anywhere. He should be listening to Lillard. Lillard regrets leaving Portland. He should never left. And in some ways, Giannis could see that. They're saying Lillard's trying to get Giannis to come to Portland right now. But apparently Giannis does not want to play on Portland. I don't know. There's all kinds of weird rumors right now. All kinds of crazy shit people are saying right now. Let's go ahead and get into the tabs for a second. Let's do the Instagram stories. CBL is going to have a game in Kelowna. That's how you say it? Yeah, they're going to have a special game. Saskatchewan versus Vancouver. They're going to play a game there, the second ever regular season neutral site game in league history at Prospera Place in BC. The matchup headlines, Hoop Fest. Pretty cool. So that's some news from CBL. We are going to be covering it. They have a signing to announce. Emmanuel Acott got signed to the Winnipeg Sea Bears. Yeah, that's pretty cool. See, we'll talk about trade deadline. Let's talk about CBL. Girls and Women's in Sports Day is National Girls and Women in Sports Day, and CBL is all about it, and they're celebrating it. That's pretty cool. And, yeah, they're going to be streaming the games. New Beginning. Live stream starts 10:30 a.m. What is this about, the New Beginning? I don't know. Interesting. Maybe that's for the Saskatchewan team. I don't know. Toronto Tempo they got jerseys on sale today, guys. Their new jersey, the Explorer 26 jersey, the inaugural first season Toronto Tempo jersey, has gone on sale today in limited amount of them. So if you can get the initial first batch that's coming out today, you're ahead of the line. So in some ways, they're trying to build a want to get stuff ahead of other people, so they won't make as many jerseys. So if you really want that inaugural Explorer 26 jersey, you better get on it today and find that sale today. I don't even know when it is or whatever. You better monitor your Toronto Tempo stuff though. And they're also celebrating National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Of course the Tempo are. Of course they are. That's right. Let's see what else we got. Norman Powell's got an all-star tee that has come out. You want to buy it? Go to Understand the Grind. He has his all-star shirt for sale right now. It's so good to see Norman get this payoff finally. Seriously, this is such a huge deal, man. He's got footage of him working for the Raptors in his early career and the times he toiled on 905 and did all this different stuff as a bench player for the Raptors. Look at you now, all-star Norman Powell. So proud of this guy, man. So proud of this guy. It's amazing. Coach Wade is celebrating Darko Rajakovic's birth to be the world coach for the All-Star game. And, well, they're going with him. That's the other thing is like the coaches of his staff will be coming with him to help him figure out how to coach this team. Now, it's interesting. Now, Darko's going to be coaching the world team, and they were asking him questions yesterday about the team he gets to coach and the possibilities. And, yeah, it's exciting. Now, one of the things is that Jamal Murray came out and said this publicly, that, you know, people aren't trying in the All-Star game anymore, but I'm going to. Like he said already, he's going to come out there and play his ass off as a first-time All-Star. And he knows that him and Wemby, of all the people on the team, will be trying for the World Stars. Because Wemby did try last year in the All-Star game. He was one of the few All-Stars that actually put in a real effort to try and play at a competitive level. Now, will that balance of Murray and Wembanyama get them past the laziness of Luka and Nikola, who we know are absolutely the guys that do not take this game seriously at all with their crazy passing back and forth like they did running down the court and their three stooges shtick that they do, Jokic and Doncic. So it's like there needs to be a balance on the world team. And in some ways, Darko, have the balls to sit Nikola if he's being too goofy and play Wemby more because he's actually trying and he wants to win. This is a weird push-pull of the All-Star game now. Is the guys that actually come there to play it and the guys who just come there to fuck around. You got to figure it out and bench the guys that don't. Coach Wade has the cold front cover on there. They had a whole photo shoot and they interviewed these guys and they had a cool little interview with them. They're asking them who is who as far as like who is Huey and who is Riley from Boondocks. Who's this? Who's that? And it was funny when they asked Scotty and Brandon, who's a dog and who's a cat? And Scotty just right away said, we're both dogs. There's no cat here. It's so awesome, man. But yeah, check out that Slam interview with Scotty and Brandon. It's fun. It's a fun little cheeky little part. And you see the relationship between Brandon and Scotty a little bit better from the way they interact in that little interview with Slam. So definitely check out that piece of work from yesterday. Jay Simpson's on the court in Toronto with his buddy Scott. And yeah, this is awesome, man. Scotty is an all-star once again. And also Jay Simpson was in Tallahassee at Florida State Seminoles basketball game. And it looks like he was getting honored on the court side. And I swear that's Gene Deckerhoff standing next to him. In the picture, Gene Deckerhoff is the voice of the Seminoles for so many years. He was the voice for the football games. And I think that's him standing there with him. That's pretty interesting. Let's see. Jamal McGlure is showing somebody's truck getting piled on with snow. He's saying, why'd they do my boy like that? Yeah, that's wrong. Elijah Martin is celebrating that he's in the Next Up game. So he's got double duty. He's going to be in the Rising Stars game and the Next Up game. And he's on Team Blue with who's on that team? It's interesting. Rocco Zakarski is on it. And Killian Hayes. Killian Hayes is on the team with Elijah. Alas, Elijah and AJ are not on the same Rising Up Next G League team. That one's on red and one's on blue. So they will not be teammates in this event. AJ will be going against Elijah in this event. So that's pretty interesting stuff right there. Let's see. He's got the cover on blast. Also, yesterday, the Raptors made their annual visit to Sick Kids Hospital, which is fantastic. It's always nice to see. And these guys don't miss this trip. They all go. They all go. Even Yak was there at the hospital, even with his back. And it's just such a rewarding visit to go see the sick kids and just spend time with them. Mamu's got a picture of him with the sick kids. He's playing the tambourine. It looked like they had a karaoke machine out and Scotty was singing. But yeah, man, it's such a big important thing. And of course, Darko and his wife give so much money to these hospitals, the sick kids hospital here, the hospital in Memphis, and the hospital back home in Serbia. And I think Blake Murphy reported yesterday on Blue Skies that the Rajakoviches have donated over $114,000 to these hospitals and the thing that they're doing. And I think that they've already raised 41,000 just for this year that they're going to give to the hospitals at the end of the year because he gives money for each assist that the Raptors get to donate to these hospitals. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, Mamu's celebrating Coach Rajakovic for being a world coach. He got asked yesterday, what's the difference between Coach Rajakovic as a European coach and American coaches? Asked Shed and Mamu these questions. Shed was funny. Shed was talking about how Rajakovic is very different than Kelvin Sampson. Kelvin Sampson's a grumpy, angry man, and Darko's a nice guy, and he's happy most of the time. But Mamu made it very clear that Darko is a personable, humanistic coach that cares about you on and off the court, but he holds you accountable. And if he's cussing at you and he's getting upset, well, it's the right amount. Because we worried about this at a certain point. We're wondering, is Darko too nice as a coach because he's too personable and too like this with them as a friend? No, he has a moment. He has his moments where he can cuss and get mad at them, just like any coach, and hold them accountable. It's funny because Shed elaborated on this more. This like his faces get enough across with me. It's like you see times when Shed comes off the court and Darko's just kind of looking at him like, and Shed's like, he doesn't even have to say anything to me. I say it back to him, what he's saying to me with his eyes. He's like, I know I didn't need to do that turnover, or I know I missed my assignment or something like that. It's pretty good because they get to know each other. It's a familiarity, there's a trust, and there's also an accountability that underlies it all. It's amazing. It's good stuff, man. Coach Andrew Jones is happy for his coach Rajakovic going to the All-Star game. And he's also putting on blast AJ and Elijah for their next up game things. They showed them getting this announced. It was Courtney Charles, the GM of he's the community guy for 905, not the GM. And he announced that AJ and Elijah had gotten this duty, which is awesome. I love that Elijah's doing both. He could easily just be like, no, I'm just going to do the Rising Stars. But no, he's going to do the G League game also, which is fantastic. Kelly Olynyk is celebrating Victor Wembanyama as the Defensive Player of the Month for the Spurs. AJ Lawson's very proud to be in the up next game. I think that he's been in this game a couple times already, actually. So how many times you could be up next, AJ Lawson? It's coming. It's coming. Sandro's girlfriend and fiance is celebrating Darko getting that. And yeah, there's other stuff she's posting. It's political. I don't want to say that right now. Out in Mississauga, they were doing giveaways for the 905. They were giving away the new Lunar New Year jersey and also tickets to 905 games. If you were lucky enough to be out and about and get some of those swag and stuff from the 905 people, man, you're so lucky. Those jerseys are fire, man. They're such fire. There's the moment where Courtney Charles told AJ and Elijah that they got on the next up game thing. Team Blue has Elijah Martin, and Team Red has AJ Lawson. There's 4 teams. That's right. Vin Bagnani celebrating Darko's world coach pick. And Shed's got the Slam magazine on blast. He's also got the shirt. They were giving it out to everybody at practice, the Slam magazine shirt. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Scotty Barnes singing karaoke on Raptors thing. What is this? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's crazy stuff right there. Scotty's singing. You guys go check it out on the Instagram for the Raptors. Scotty's got the cover that he's on too. And it looks like Sandro's friend Alessandro is back in Toronto to hang out with Sandro right now. There you go. There's the Instagram stories. Maybe a little bit too long there on that. Let's see. Kesper's saying, anyone who think Darko and the coaching staff can probably build an even more effective scouting report of the whole league from his all-star game experience? Laugh out loud. I don't think so. I think that Darko's pretty on top of things in the NBA's current affairs, like just because that's the nature of himself, is to kind of like he understands these players really well. overall because of years and years and years of being in the NBA, not just as a head coach, but as assistant coach. I love what he expressed in the interview yesterday about how, as a European coach, he always dreamed of being involved in the NBA. And he saw people as predecessors, as some people that just kind of came over as assistant coaches. And he said, oh, that there is a possibility. So this is a real moment of achievement for Coach Rajakovic, that he's going to be the first ever international coach at the All-Star game for the world team. That's a big deal. It's a big deal in a lot of ways. And it really shows the testament to his path and his work and his dedication in building his coaching career to get to this point. It's a huge achievement. And in some ways, I don't want the NBA, if he ends up being like possibly the coach of the year, I don't want them to think, oh, because we gave him an all-star coaching job, that he shouldn't be considered for coach of the year. He should be considered for coach of the year also, for sure. KT saying, speaking of the all-star game, I think Darko is going to make his team play with their hair on fire. World will win the chip and force Silver to add another American team. Probably call it the Redeems. I mean, it's just stupid, man. I wish that it was a more even playing field. It's just kind of crazy what's going on right now. Saying, Lex, you might have to. Looks like you might have to call someone to break this tie. Well, I'll be the tiebreaker because I don't vote, right? I didn't vote in this, so I could be the final vote myself, right? That's what it could be. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna say because I already said it. Somebody put no, so they switched it. So maybe I don't know. We'll just see. We're still time. We got a little bit more time on the stream. Let me. We got like 10 more minutes. Let's see. Raptors Reddit. Anything interesting? Oh, there's this goofy stuff that Buddy was just saying about Chris Haynes. Yeah, who cares? Yeah, it's all speculation. It's all hot air, honestly. Okay, here's somebody smart. This is not the year for a trade. This guy's right. And it's kind of what I was just saying. Somebody here is crazy. They think that we should trade for both Kawhi and Zubac. Oh my gosh. All right, Raptors Reddit. You're crazy. I can't be looking at you like that. All right. I gotta be done with that. All right, get your fantasy lineup set up, y'all. We're in another week of Raptor Freak Yahoo NBA Fantasy, and it's important for y'all to get your lineup set so you can compete. And yeah, I've got a tough matchup this week. I believe I'm playing Jason Dukes. So yeah, he's a tough matchup. And I think that this week is going to be weird. And then the week after that, I'll have the All-Star week. So let's get the classic. Oh, wait, straight goods on Canadian goods. Just real quick. I'll do this real fast before the classic card. Yesterday, I went and bought some bottled water and some cheap stuff. And well, there's a great place to buy stuff that's Canadian where you can get discount clothing and discount groceries and discount all kinds of stuff. And that's Giant Tiger, y'all. Y'all have Giant Tiger near you, man? Giant Tiger is awesome. Look at that cartoon cat or tiger on their logo. He's cool. He's like, he should be on a Looney Tunes. Low price is what we do. So yeah, if you got a Giant Tiger in your area, it's a Canadian chain. It's better than going to Walmart, way better than going to Walmart. And you can find a lot of good deals in tough times of the economy. You can go to Giant Tiger and buy clothing and buy all kinds of groceries, toiletries, everything. Giant Tiger is a great company to buy discount from. There you go. Giant Tiger. That's my straight goods on Canadian goods. Go to Giant Tiger. All right, let's do the classic. And get done for the day. That's right. Get done. Yeah, we'll do this. This one's a little tough. We'll see. It's another All-Star card, which is, we've had a lot of All-Star cards recently, which fits because it's almost an All-Star break. Let's see if you guys can tell who this All-Star is here. It's from the same year again, Miami All-Star year around 1990. Yeah, who is this classic card of the day? Full name answer, please. See if anybody can figure this one out. This one's a little bit tougher in some ways, but not really. It's Chris Webber. Yeah, that's too much hair for Chris Webber, right, at this time. Chris Webber wasn't in the league in 1990, I don't think. This is before Chris Webber's time in the league. So it's an interesting guess, Slugbeezy, but it is not Chris Webber. It is not Chris Webber. I don't want to give any clues on this too much. I want to see if you guys can figure it out. If I show it too close, you might be able to see who it is. Yep, that maybe was too close. Yeah, we'll just have to see. It should be caught. Who's that behind him? Chris Mullin. Chris Mullin's the other guy in the card. Chris Mullin of the Golden State Warriors. Antonio McDyess. This is before McDyess. You're going too recent. We got to go even further back because this is, like I said, this is Miami 1990. This is All-Star Weekend 1990. That's 35 years ago, guys. It's crazy, man. Yeah, McDyess and Weber were not playing in the league at this point. Xavier McDaniel was, but it's not Xavier. Xavier has a bald head. This man has a full head of hair right here. Yeah, I show it to you guys. You guys could be able to tell who that is. You guys should be able to tell who that is. You know, that should tell you right there. I mean, you can see him. You can see his number too. The number does tell you something there. Dominique Wilkins. That's not right. Ronald McDaniel? Ronald McDaniel? No, it's Robert Parrish. It's Robert Parrish. Slug Deezy got it. It's Robert Parrish. Big 00 for the Celtics. Chief is what his name was. Is Robert Parrish was the longtime center for the Celtics in the 80s. They didn't break up synergy and chemistry with cores. They kept them together. McHale, Parrish, Bird. Yeah, they kept those guys together. So, yeah, it's Robert Parrish of the Celtics. And look at how many All-Star games he had played in at that point. He had 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, and 90. Wow, he had played in a lot of All-Star games throughout the 80s. So, yeah, Robert Parrish, this is going to be I mean, it seemed like it was difficult. So maybe I should go ahead and give Slug Deezy 100 points for this one. Although I feel like it's not that difficult. Although you guys did kind of go all over the place with it. I don't know. I'll give him 100 just to be, showing the appreciation for the king of the classic card, Slug Deezy, getting 100 points for the Robert Parrish. Robert Parrish. He didn't even spell it correctly, though. Oh, yeah, he did. He put it, yeah, it's just one R. I thought it was two R's. All right, let's get a rundown and get the hell out of here. Raptors, man, you got to play top notch tonight. This is a tall team, this is a deep team, and this is a veteran team. And Chris Finch is a good coach. And we need to be doing things right tonight. We can't have frivolous turnovers. We got to hit open shots. Y'all need to actually really try and out rebound this team. That's another thing. If they're making way more threes than us, yikes, we may be in trouble. So, yeah, going over the injury list real quick. Once again, Yak is out, and so is Chucky Hepburn. On the other side of things, Anthony Edwards is questionable. Julius Randle is questionable, and Terrence Shannon Jr. is out. The ESPN matchup predictor is given 54% that the Minnesota Timberwolves will win tonight. On the court for the referees tonight, Courtney Kirkland is the crew chief. He favors the Raptors. Nate Green is the referee. He favors the Raptors. And Derek Collins is the umpire. He favors the Raptors. So we do have favor record-wise with the referees. So that's a good sign. All right, I'm going to finish up, guys. DiVincenzo versus Grady. That's not really what the matchup will be, but it'll be more DiVincenzo versus Quickly. Two former Knick teammates. That could be interesting, and Julius, we'll have to see if Julius plays. Julius is very good friends with RJ and Emmanuel. So there's a little bit of a fun, friendly kind of rivalry kind of thing there. The one thing, once again, is Gobert. We got to figure out how we're going to handle Gobert. If we're going to let him punish us in certain ways, is Chris Finch actually going to unload Gobert offensively in the situation that's going on tonight? I don't know. Will Colin Murray-Boyles be able to hold himself against such a monstrous player like Rudy Gobert? We're just going to have to see. We're just going to see. The test is a strong test for our young Murray-Boyles. Very, very strong test. And Scotty, of course, you're going to have to help Sandro and Jonathan. We may very much need you guys big time tonight, too. And Jamison Battle may be even playing some quality, important big man minutes as just an extra couple fouls. If Finch is smart, he'll play zone. That's probably likely. That is probably very likely. And the Raptors are going to have to show that they've been working on the zone buster and getting around the zone better and better as the season goes on, because that has been an Achilles heel for us. Yeah, with Gobert anchor in the middle. That's tough. That's a tough zone right there for sure. All right, let me run it back and down. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak stream preview today for the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight, WWE night. So go on and get your moves in, your finishing moves, Raptors. DDT, flying elbow, leg drop, avalanche, whatever move you want to say, figure four leg lock. That's right. Let's just get the right moves into the game and play professionally and win the respect of Courtney Kirkland and Derek Collins so that we get some good referee calls. But yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow for reaction to the game tonight. Also, previewing two games tomorrow as the Raptors 905 will play at 11 a.m. In fact, they'll be playing already at this time tomorrow. And also previewing the Chicago Bulls second night of back-to-back game, home games. So yeah, that's what's going on. Ketchup on eggs are weird, people. It's 50%, and the poll is closed at 50%. And I am going to declare the winner on my side is eggs get ketchup because I'm yes. And it's 50 to 50, 20 votes. 10 people say no, 10 people say yes. 11th person says yes, and that's Lex. So there you go. It's official. Ketchup on eggs, perfectly fine. We want freedom in this world, not constriction, not the non-ability to be able to put ketchup on our eggs. So if you want ketchup on your eggs, go ahead. You want pineapple on your pizza, go ahead. We're not trying to tell you what's like. Yeah, Kareem. Oh, yeah. We're on your wife's side. Yeah. Yeah. Big up Kareem Thomas's wife and the ketchup she puts on her eggs. That's right. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptors. Let's